Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Magic with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary. If you're a sucker for all things personal development, mindset, and growth, you're in the right place because here we teach you how to live your most authentic life, how to gain confidence, and how to step into your power. If you're ready to let go of the things that are holding you back, stay tuned and let the magic begin. Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Magic with Mary podcast. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the science of manifestation and why it's really not so magical after all. So while this podcast may be called the Magic with Mary podcast, in today's episode, we are going to be calling this podcast the Practical Podcast, Practicality with Mary, whatever we want to call it. It's really going to be about helping you understand it on a very basic foundational level. If you're anything like me and you have a hard time grasping it, or you're wanting to share it with family members and friends and help them understand it, well, don't worry, because there's some practicality to it, some science behind it, and hopefully that gives you exactly what you need so that you can move forward and start utilizing some of these principles and manifest the things that you want into your life. So there are 4 reasons why manifestation isn't all that magical. And the first one is the practicality of manifestation. So it's not just this wishful thinking. It's actually a systematic approach. It's goal setting and goal achieving process that's rooted in cause and effect. So our present circumstances right now are all direct results of our past actions. And that highlights the importance of really just living an intentional life, because whatever we're doing right now, our feelings, our emotions, our behaviors, our habits, that's going to manifest into the future reality, so to speak. So it's really important to start living a very intentional life, and manifestation is actually super simple. It's not super complex. Where manifestation gets to be complex is that you have to be able to believe in yourself to move forward. And so it's really about moving backwards and learning how to believe that you're capable. So that brings me to the next reason, which is all about the power of our beliefs. So our minds serve as our focal point of attraction. So we constantly hear in the manifestation world about the law of attraction. We know that every single thing within the universe, within us, every single particle and all of that, it's all vibrating at a particular frequency. And that frequency that we have from our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, it emits that out onto the world, and we attract similar things of that. Now, while that sounds so silly and not real, the practicality and the science behind that, so really just digging into the science right now, is that our minds actually have something called an RAS, or reticular activating system, which is a bundle of nerves, holy cow, if I can talk today, a bundle of nerves at the bottom of our brainstem. And what this does is it filters out any unnecessary information, because constantly we are being bombarded by a myriad of information and data all day long, every second, and it's constant. And so we have to be able to have a filtration system that moves things out of our brain and just says, okay, this isn't that important, let's get rid of it. We'll filter out all of the important things. And what that means is that system runs on our beliefs. So our values, our beliefs, all of that. And that's why the old adage of what you believe is what you achieve is so true, because our RAS is filtering out anything that we don't believe. So just give a quick example. If I want to, I'm just going to use manifest a new job that earns more money. Say I want to do that. I am not going to see the opportunities available for me to make that possible if I don't believe that I'm capable of actually getting hired for a new job that would make more money for me. Hopefully this is kind of starting to make sense and you can understand the science behind it. Our brains are always going to filter out unnecessary information. And so if we don't believe in ourselves, then we're just going to be filling up the bathtub with a teaspoon, and it's just going to take forever and ever and ever. And so that's why when it comes to manifestation, it's really about learning how to rewire those limiting beliefs and create new beliefs that are supportive towards our goals, and really shifting that and moving forward in a different direction. So that is the second reason why, is because we have a reticular activating system that is so very clearly similar to the law of attraction and makes sense on a very scientific perspective level. So the third reason is visualization and neuroscience. So contrary to misconceptions that visualization is just hocus pocus and you just sit there and think, and visualize yourself and, whatever manifestation it is that you want. Yeah, I'm sure, right? Like when I first started doing this, and maybe you, if you are just getting into manifestation, you're like, oh, I'm sure that I can, just sit there and visualize millions of dollars coming to me and then actually have millions of dollars come to me. That's not going to happen. Well, taking this to the practicality and really into the neuroscience of it, it is grounded in the idea that when you visualize, you're activating the neural pathways that are very similar to the actual physical experience. So that mental imagery actually primes our minds for success. It helps us prepare ourselves to get there, and it helps us see the actual attainability and tangibility of accomplishing that goal. And so it's more likely that we actually reach for that goal and take action on it because we see, oh, actually I can actually accomplish that. So visualization is the second step in really like learning how to believe in yourself. It's one of, I believe for myself, there's many different ways to rewire beliefs. And through therapy, I've spent years and years in therapy, and still to this day, I feel like the most powerful thing that has helped reshape my beliefs is visualization, because everything that and sometimes I have a hard time visualizing because my mind doesn't want to go there because it's like, no way, that's not true. No way, that's not true. But when I finally allow it and I visualize it, sooner or later it comes to fruition because I start to believe that it's possible. And then I start to see these opportunities come my way and I take action on them. And right there is why visualization is super powerful. And I truly believe that if you haven't implemented visualization into your life right now, please start doing so because it's extremely powerful. And if you have a hard time visualizing because your mind's not letting you go there, it's easy to actually start writing things out on a piece of paper. So if you're wanting to think of what your, future self looks like, put it on a piece of paper. Like, what does your house look like? What does your, dream career look like? And really just kind of start to put in the details and the information. And then once you write it down on paper, it's easier to actually visualize. Sometimes I use Pinterest for visualization as well because I have a harder time visualizing things. It's easier to get on Pinterest and just type in things like, future looking up a cabin or something like that and finding a picture of it. And then I can see myself there at that cabin or whatever it is I'm wanting to manifest. So that's just one of the things that my husband and I would like to achieve within our lifetime is building a cabin. So visualization actually has some neuroscience behind it, and it's super powerful. Okay, moving on to the very last reason why manifestation is not all that magical. Manifesting rituals are extremely beneficial for mental well-being. Things such as journaling, gratitude, mindfulness, meditation, and all of the other things that can be considered a manifestation ritual have an extremely positive impact on our mental well-being. You hear this over and over and over again, that mindfulness, meditation, all of those things help us feel more grounded, help us feel more calm and happy. And when we feel better, when we are happier and all of that, we're more motivated to take action on the things that we want to do. If we're feeling like crap, then we don't really feel like doing the things that we want to do to accomplish our goals, right? Because a lot of times the things that we want, there's going to be some action in there that maybe doesn't sound as fun. Sometimes it's going to be boring, right? Like, for example, right now I'm working on republishing my journal, and like the last thing I want to do is figure out how to put together a journal cover. Like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to do it at all. But because I do my gratitude journaling and all of the things, all of my manifestation rituals, I feel happier and more motivated, and I can see the end goal. And when I see the end goal, because I've done these rituals, it's so much more motivating and worth it for me to take that action. And it's slow going. Don't get me wrong. It's a slow process for all of it, but I'm still working on it. I am doing that on a daily basis, working on it a little bit at a time, and it just snowballs and it keeps growing and growing and growing until sooner or later I'm going to republish that thing, and I'm going to be super proud. And once I'm proud of that, like just that emotion is going to give me the energy and drive to get on here and create podcasts and share how impactful this journal has been for me in my life, and hopefully be able to share it with as many people as possible. And that's exactly what manifestation is when you feel those positive emotions, you take action on it. It's a cause and effect process, right? You take the action and then it manifests into what you want. So those manifesting rituals are super powerful because they help create all of the motivation you need to achieve the things. So a quick recap of the 4 reasons why manifestation is not all that not all that magical at all. And it's so ironic me talking about that because we are here with the Magic with Mary podcast, right? So reason number 1 is the practicality of manifestation. It's really just a goal setting, goal achieving process that's rooted in a cause effect systematic approach. And then reason number 2, the power of beliefs. We know that our minds have a reticulator activating system that filters unnecessary information out. And if we don't believe in ourselves, then our mind's not going to pick up on opportunities that are going to bring us to our goal. So we want to start learning how to believe in ourselves. And reason number 3 is visualization actually has quite a bit of neuroscience backed behind it by, the research and data that has been shown that visualization activates the neural pathways that are similar to actually making that experience, which makes it easier for us to want to take action because we see it as attainable and achievable. And then reason number 4 is manifesting rituals are extremely powerful for our mental well-being, which creates positivity and happiness and satisfaction in our life, which makes us have more motivation to take action. It helps us see things from an end point of view and what we actually want, rather than just being in the complexities of the day-to-day action and then not wanting to take it. We see the end goal and we can work towards it because we have put in the work with those manifesting rituals. So hopefully with all of that information, it will help you see why manifestation is actually pretty dang practical and is actually not so magical after all. But in all reality, even if things are practical, that's where the magic is. I believe that on a very deep level, sometimes we have to see things from a very basic viewpoint. And then once we, that saying, keep it simple, what is it? Keep it simple, stupid. I'm going to change that to keep it simple, smarty. Be smart, Keep it simple, and it's going to make it so much more magical because it's going to make more sense to you. So I love you all so very much. If this podcast episode helped you in any way, shape, or form, please share it with a friend or someone who it would benefit. Take a minute to go and review, rate the podcast. In doing that, it will help other people see that this podcast has something to offer for them and maybe can help them as well. And then if you haven't already, please follow the podcast so that you are able to see every time that there's an updated episode and you can hop on and listen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you with all my heart. Thank you and bye.